So we're all working on question number 6. Now, some of you guys have a little bit of issue with question number 6, and you're kind of wondering how you're going to fill in this number here and this number here, and then get this number. So let's go over what we're actually doing here. This problem asks us to basically have a fence around a rectangular object, right? Now that rectangular playground has a perimeter of 160 meters, right? So what does that mean? Let's go and take a look at it. Now, what that means is you have a rectangle that kind of looks like this. For the first one, you have a length of 70 and a width of 10, L and W, right? And you notice that if you have 70 plus 10, and 10, you're going to get 160. That's what our perimeter is. So now the question is, how the heck do we get this other thing going if we have, instead of a width of 10, we have a width of 20. So let's just quickly draw a rectangle to kind of make sense of what's happening. Remember, this is our width and this is our length. So now if we have a width of 20, what you gotta understand is we have 20 on this other side. And then what we have to do is we have to think of the perimeter. The perimeter was supposed to be 160, right? Then we used up 2 20s, okay? Which gives us 120. Now we take that 120 and we're gonna take that information and we're gonna share it between this side and this side. So now we're literally gonna have to take 120 and we're gonna divide it by 2 to split it between those two sides. And in this case, you're gonna end up with about 60 meters for both sides. So what I'll do is I'll literally just fill this in as 60. And then you know that the perimeter is still 160, right? But now the area of this thing is equal to length times width, which is 60 times 20. And you end up with 1,200. Okay, and we just write 1,200 meters squared. And we do the same for 70 times 10, which is 70 times 10, which is 700. And we're done. Okay, now you can do that. You can use that same process for all of the different dimensions of your rectangle fencing that we use. Okay, all right, that's it. Now, the last thing that you have to do is you have to take all that information that we have here, and what we will do is we will use the length that we have in this part of our chart and the area to basically plot points on our graph here. So if you take a look at the graph, you've got 70 and 70 and 700. So what I'll do is I'll plot my first point, 70, 700. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that information and then go to the next thing, 60 and 1200. So we're going to use 60 and 1200 to show the next number, and we continue, so on and so forth till we're done. Okay? Just take all that information, fill out the chart, and then make your graph, and then we'll see if the dimensions are what the maximum or minimum dimensions are for the fencing.